Hello friends, later I am bringing some of the benefit of composition scheme that is available for the small and medium entrepreneurs. Composition scheme is applicable for those taxpayers whose turnover is less than 1.5 crore in any financial year. You have to check within yourself that what is your turnover. If your turnover is less than 1.5 crore, then the composition scheme is one of the important scheme under GST and you can avail all those benefit under composition scheme. What are those benefits that I am going to share here? And these benefits are more relevant practically, and this is going to help to the entrepreneur and the business owner to focus more on their business instead of on the compliances. The benefit number one is you do not need to maintain the detailed books of account, detailed records under GST. You do not need to reconcile the GST 2A 2B under composition scheme because there is no any input tax benefit under composition scheme you have to take. So there is no any questions of input tax reconciliations. You do not need to go for the GST one filing like how the normal taxable persons are filing the detailed GST filing. You have to simply go find out the total turnover for a quarter, pay the reduced amount of tax. If you see the normal tax, the 5%, 12%, 18% and 28%, when you are in a composition scheme, your tax rate might be 0.5%, 1%, 1.5%, 2%. This is how the benefit under composition scheme. The second benefit here is that you do not need to pay the tax on every month. You have to pay the tax on quarterly basis. You have to pay the tax on quarterly basis. So simplify quarterly tax paying. What happened to the normal taxpayer? That they have to pay the tax on every month. Some of the taxpayer is go and pay the tax on QRMP scheme. But under composition scheme, you do not need to pay the tax on every month. You have to simply calculate the sale for a quarter and pay the tax. So for example, if you talk about the sales for January, February, March, you would have to pay the tax on or before 18 April. This is how the important part of the composition scheme for the entrepreneur and the business owner. The number third benefit is that you will not have a more liquidity problem because you are paying the reduced rate of tax and you have to pay the tax on every quarter. You would preserve more liquidity in your account. So your working capital will help you to keep your business running effectively. Your working capital will help you to keep your business and grow overall. The working capital will not be hold more under the composition schemes. The number four benefit is that you do not need to issue the taxable invoice to your customer. You have to simply issue the bill of supply, and the bill of supply is because you are not charging any tax to your customer. Your customer is not liable to pay any tax to you. So you have to issue the bill of supply and you have to clearly mention in your bill of supply that you are registered under composition taxable persons. This is how the important part here is. The drawback under the composition scheme is that you are not able to make the interstate supply. So for example, if you have the budget and your objective is spanning your business to more than one state, in that case you will not able to do that under composition scheme. The composition scheme is when you are supplying your goods within the state. Purchasing you can do from any state. There is no any restrictions on purchase. Second drawback here is that you are not able to take the input tax benefit on your all purchase. But if you go in detail and find the crux of the composition scheme, you will be able to know that input tax is not required to take, because when you start to avail the input tax benefit, you would need to maintain the detailed books of account, you would need to hire the professional tax consultant, you would need to create a team in your accounts to manage all those reconciliations. The input tax credit is not an easy mechanism to avail the input while you are paying the GST liability. There is a proper mechanism of reconciliations. When you are reconciling with the proper mechanism, and when your GST or 2A 2B is matching with your books of account, then you would be able to take the input tax benefit. And if you see here that you are paying the reduced rate of tax, you are not paying the tax on 5%, 12%, 18%, 28%. And why you need a input? So this is not a drawback per se. You can say that this is one of the advantage, that you do not need to go for the detailed reconciliations of your books of account. There is only one drawback, that I have told you, that you cannot able to make the inter-state supply. You cannot able to transfer your goods from one branch to another branch, or another branch is in another state. You cannot able to do that. If you are doing, you would be out from the composition scheme, and you have to face the panel provision as well. In GST, my dear friend, ladies and gentlemen, one thing is very simple, that you have to take a note. Government objective is very clear. GST is celebrating the 5th year right now. 5th year is going on. In the last 5 years, there are a lot of circular notification is going on. Governments in trying to find out the best options for the businessman, for the business owner, and government. So there is a channelized provision government is trying to create, but this will take some time. Government is very clear that you have to go and follow the GST rule. You have to come under the GST structures. If you are not able to come, and if you are not willing to come under GST structure, you will not able to run your business for the longer period of the time. That is very simple. Not today, but tomorrow the government will find what is the problem, and government will issue the notices to you if you are not complying with the GST. So my dear friend, working as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, is not a big deal. Everyone willing to do the business, but it is not in the capacity of everyone to do the business with the structures and objective, like how you are doing. So when you are doing, please keep remember that you are fulfilling all those compliance of particularly GST, because GST is on every transactions. This is not like a direct tax that you have to pay the tax on annually. This is not on income base. This is on transaction base. When you are supplying services, when you are supplying goods, you have to charge the tax. You have to pay the GST. There are certain schemes that you can be able to avail, but at the same time, you have to make sure that you are fulfilling all this compliance under objective, under GST. And whether you are in composition scheme or as a normal taxable persons, make sure that you are fulfilling all those compliances and giving some more fuel to your business to run effectively, efficiently, and grow more. Think about business, think about GST as well. This is Sanjay Singh signing out. Until we meet again, thank you. Thank you very much.